No. This episode, no. It might be the worst episode in the season. Holy shit. Holy shit, it's bad. It is boring. Oh my god, so fucking boring and bloated. My god, how did they do this? And this is a topic I've been like not talking about in the last video or the other video before that, just how bloated Mandalore is with redundant scenes and pieces of dialogue and just other scenes that stretch on fucking forever that should have ended in like a minute in between their scenes, but they just keep fucking going. They don't stop, and it's so, oh my god, it's so annoying. Like how they do that. And it's not even just this season. It's really just the entire Mandalore saga, where they direct these scenes that just go on for way too long and shouldn't even really be there in the first place. This one's just, it might be the worst of it. It is so bad. I hit it all. There are also just anyway, so many scenes to pick apart in this episode. So many things to talk about. When it's crazy because they finally got to Mandalore, but oh my, nothing happens until the ending, where we finally find out what's going on. It's so retarded what's actually happening. But we'll get into the episode now. So let's just push on through it. So here we're on Coruscant. All right, we're on Coruscant. This is part of like the you could say the, like, I don't know, C plot of I don't even know what kind of plot to call it. It's just like part of the plot that happened in episode 3 that was good, but now it's like not as good anymore, especially with this character that we've known. She was in like season 1 and 2, I believe, as well, and she had like some kind of role in this one, and only in episode 3, and now she's finally back, but she's not important at all. Honestly, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that we have this girl we've known for a long time watching The Mandalore. Apparently, she was on board the Empire the entire time. Now, in episode 3, she was basically doing this weird, like, double agent thing against Pierce, where she betrayed his trust. We didn't know if it was because she was trying to move up the ladder in like the New Republic, or if she was just secretly an Imperial agent. But now we've come to realize, yes, she is some sort of weird, secret agent. We don't know like where she's getting her information from these people, how she's really like involved with the Empire anymore. We don't know. They don't explain it. But now when we come to her, she's just like giving information to this probe droid, and we cut back at her. She's talking to Moff Gideon. What the fuck is happening here? So, if you didn't know, Moff Gideon escaped from his detainment. He's now free, and in this episode, we see him many times, and there's no actual explanation to how he even escaped the New Republic. He's just gone. He seemed that he was in episode 5. There's maybe well, yeah, I believe it was episode 5, where people thought maybe he was framing the Mandalorians. No, that's not what it is at all. He's just so obsessed with the Mandalorians that he even takes over Mandalore somehow, even though no one knew about it. He escaped somehow too. No one knows about it. No one cares that he escaped, and no one does anything about it. It's so fucking strange. So they have this like back and forth. Gideon's here with like this new council of Imperials, who are there. These are the I guess like the top generals of the Imperials that are still left within the galaxy. They're also all talking about Thrawn. Thrawn is a fan favorite character from the EU and Legacy comics. He is also in Star Wars Rebels, also done by Disney. However, a lot of people have conniptions with him in that show, as do I. I don't like Rebels at all. I know about him, maybe a little more than some like casual viewers, but not like a whole lot, other than some like super hardcore people that read those comics, because I don't. I've read some of them, but none about Thrawn. Anyway, they're just all talking about like what's our next move, what's our next plan. I'm really just like concerned about how they don't really elaborate how he escaped, and they literally don't talk about it. There's no discussion about how Gideon just like got back. I guess all these buddies here in this scene somehow created a plan where he could escape. Now he's free, and where he is basically now is, we assume to be Mandalore. He's on literally Mandalore. Whatever, I guess. But like, they need to. They just breezed right past it. How did this man escape without any notice at all from the New Republic, from maybe even pirates? He's just here now. He's just free. Like, why? Like, not that I don't even like Gus Fring. You know, not I do like Gus Fring. Not this Gus Fring. Oh no. You know, it's one more frustrating thing after another, just constantly. Every scene, just constantly. There's one frustrating thing they either don't elaborate on, some more redundant dialogue of information we already know, long drawn out scenes we already know, terrible horrible action, things that don't make sense within like the canonicity of this saga or the show and in general. You know, what are they doing up there? You know, Kevin Feige and fucking Jon Favreau just throwing shit at the wall, hoping everyone likes it, and we'll still never know if the show is even doing good on Disney Plus. We'll never know. We'll never know the metrics of the stats of people watching, how much money they're making. We'll never know. Anyway, that's the whole deal. Who we're getting? He is free. He's talking about Thrawn. Thrawn's probably going to be in the next season if they do it. Who knows? Possibly is probably they're probably going to defeat him here in episode 8. I do believe episode 8 is the last episode. Um, who knows what happens? Anyway, he's just here doing this random bullshit, bad dialogue. Don't worry about it. Be more concerned with how he's freed in the first place with no real explanation. That's that. So we're gonna cut back. We're gonna cut back now. I got something drawn here. Like I think my first video, I said IG like 42 or some bullshit. It's not. It might have been a different droid. IG 11 was the droid that was like so quote unquote prominent within Mandalorian's the Mandalorian like mythos. Yeah, prominent. Put that in quotes. So we're back here on Navarro, I believe, with Apollo Creed. Mandalore, oh my god, Mando just comes back here. Don't worry about it. He's just looking for, I don't know. I don't even know what he's looking for. Honestly, it doesn't matter. They come back here. They've got, oh yeah, that's right. They're getting, I'm sorry, I'm dumb. I'm absolutely autistic. Don't worry about it. They're coming back. They have their new privateers with them. They're rejoining the sects of the Mandalorians that don't like each other. So basically we have the sect that is like full on with the way, and now we have the privateers who do not follow the way. These privateers are also maybe part of Death Watch or some other sect. Anyway, the point is Bo-Katan. We have like a huge force, almost basically an army now. They might have like 100 Mandos on with them. Well, maybe not 100, 50, 200. They have a decent force, right? So, like a platoon essentially, like that. And they're just coming together. Obviously, Forge Lady's like, yes, this is the way. Bo-Katan is our new leader. She now has the Darksaber. Didn't fight Mando. Didn't need to. What is the rules? Again, I explain. I riffed about that on the last episode, so maybe we can like push past it. But it's still confusing as fuck. Almost like it doesn't matter. Anyway, everyone follows each other. Anyway, there are gonna be some like certain rifts within these factions while trying to come together. Obviously, they don't actually lead to anywhere like important. Everyone comes together anyway in service of Bo, so it doesn't necessarily matter. They could have done something cool with that, but they didn't. There's maybe one little scene of like that like conflict between these two group of people trying to come together, but they don't. It's not. They don't expand upon it in any meaningful way, right? There's no actual real character development. Not that any of these like fodder Mandalorians have any characters at all. Not even the ones that like have names, like Forge Lady or a big guy. There he is, big guy with the big flamethrower. Yeah, I don't even know his name. I don't know his name. I have no idea what his name is. No idea. I know he's got a kid. And he lets him. He would have let him die if not for Mando and Bo-Katan. That's all I know about this guy, literally, and that he's mean, I guess, and he's kind of strong, whatever. So they're just all coming together. They make this plot like, all right, we're gonna go to Mandalore. That's basically it. We're gonna retake the planet, retake, quote unquote, but also not quote unquote for what we realized at the end of this episode, which is stupid because there was no foreshadowing about it at all throughout the entire season. So Apollo Creed comes up. He's like, Mando, take this like weird glass-shaped alcohol drink. Drink it. It's one of our finest on Naboo or whatever. And he's like, oh, so come with me. This is just absolutely hilarious scene right here. So the first two episodes were basically about IG-11 reprogramming him so he could be with Mando to scan the planet of Mandalore, see if it's breathable air, even though that didn't matter because IG-11 like broke down and became evil. But that also didn't matter because Mando just got a droid from Tatooine, even though that didn't make sense either because Mando could have got any droid with scanner capabilities at all, even though that didn't matter because that droid that he did got from Tatooine from the mechanic lady did nothing, and Mando's ship the entire time could scan the atmosphere. It is that whole entire first two episodes was absolutely retarded. It fucking stupid, just jerking us around the entire time with useless scenes. Again, just more bloat. And this episode has the worst of it. Well, jeez. After saying that about episode 1 and 2, maybe it doesn't, but I feel like it does. If anything, this episode is the most boring out of anything, especially when they get to Mandalore. But anyway, so one of the Babu Frick people end up they basically create a new metal carriage for Grogu. That's essentially what it is. They repurposed IG-11. Fuck IG-11, I guess. Fuck him, putting him back on as this like staple of Navarro, where he's just monumized for the entire planet. Fuck that. He's just back here now, and now he's not even really a robot anymore. He's literally just like a vehicle. And Grogu, they've literally just given Grogu a new vehicle, except for his like little baby pod that he drives in. Now he's gonna drive in IG-11, and they renamed him IG-12 in this episode as well. Just whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's just what it is. They try to do like these weird comedic scenes where IG-12 can like say yes or no, and Grogu just like fucking spams it relentlessly. Like, I guess that's funny, but I also like don't care. Like at this point, any comedic value they could have brought into the show is meaningless with all the other bullshit they've already written into it. I'm just not. This comedic relief is not. I don't care for it. At this point, and I'm honestly tired of it. It's not. I don't see Mando as a character. I don't even really see Grogu as a real character, even though he's supposed to be this super powerful, youngling. But we can't hear him speak. We don't really know his thoughts. His actions don't really give credence to that in any of the episodes. He just kind of is there. He does random shit all the time, either being protected. I just don't give a shit. They've lost their chance. They had an opportunity, but they squandered it already. So what's the point, right? Anyway, it's just more comedic shit, but it's not even really funny. Anyway, we go back. Bo-Katan's like hailing to all her people now. She is the de facto leader. I said this last episode, but yes, Bo-Katan is the de facto leader of all these Mandalores. Apparently, she doesn't have to follow the way. She can have her helmet off. Apparently, all the people that were in like the faction of the way just keep their helmets on anyway. There's no explanation about has the rules changed. Can we all do that? No, I assumed like she's the only exception for some reason, just because she's a leader. Yeah, but now she has the dark saber, so whatever. She's like, okay, we're gonna go to Mandalore, we're gonna retake it, quote unquote, and we're gonna scout the planet, find the giant forge. We're gonna reclaim Mandalore, whatever entails of that sentence, whatever that means, right? Just reclaiming it, I assume just popularizing Mandalore, creating a new Mandalore system where they have their own like sense of government. Maybe they want to be part of the New Republic. Maybe they want to be neutral like they were in the past. Maybe they want to be enemies. Who really knows? Probably more neutral, but it doesn't matter. I don't know if any of that is going to culminate. So they take their giant fucking fleet. They have a lot of resources now, but apparently not as many resources as the former Imperials that are now like stationed on Mandalore. Basically, already like fucking spoiled it. Whatever. They go there. They have their little scouting mission, and this is really part of the most boring segments of the show. Just like exploring, man. It's so crazy too. They finally got here after talking about it for the entire season, but now they're here, and they don't really do anything. They're just looking for places to colonize, I guess. I mean, or set up a base camp possibly. None of them do anything. They also find that they're Mandalorian survivors on the planet no one knew about. And apparently Mandalore was habitable this entire time. Bo-Katan didn't know about it, or she did, but didn't do anything about it. It's so convoluted and messed up. It's like the show doesn't even really care about its own continuity. I think I said that already, but it just gets crazier. So yeah, they find survivors on the planet. These guys, these like old veteran Mandalorians, they're just here. They're like, oh, and immediately there's like, yeah, we've been here this whole time. Let's just join you. And they have like a weird like sand pirate ship or whatever. Like, okay, we can bring more Mandalorians onto our army or whatever. We're gonna save all the Mandalorians, I guess. That's fine. Why are they here? How are they here? How long have they been here? Why haven't they reached out to anyone? Could they have? We don't know. I'm guessing they can't if we're supposed to assume that. And they've just been trying to survive on this planet, which is crazy because apparently there are like titanic, colossal monsters on this planet the entire time. Even in like the Clone Wars era of the of the continuity, but no mentions of them ever. I don't know. Maybe they're also trying to look for the Mythosaur. What a great name, by the way. The Mythosaur. Beautiful. Oh my god, amazing. What if like if you're gonna like create a creature of omnipotent, maybe not maybe not that powerful, but like such esteem and strength. The Mythosaur, like, does it really have to be that ham-fisted about it? Of its name, the Mythosaur. It's fucking cringe. It's actually cringe. They've been like they've been like foreshadowing at least that plot point at some point in the show. Maybe that's gonna be in episode 8. I'm not sure. Fucking probably. Anyway, not that I give a fuck, because it's so badly done and it's gonna be executed so poorly that I'll just be going along for the ride anyway. So they meet these guys. They're like, yeah, we're gonna join you. Come on our ship. Apparently they might know the way to like a way to like set up camp. These are where most of like these drawn out scenes like come from. Also the beginning of the episodes too. But it's so fucking boring. How they can make like such a boring episode. This scene might be the most important actually for Bo's character, where she explains in the most vague details about how she was part of Death Watch, how she killed people, and how it's her fault that this happened to Mandalore. But it's so I'm not sure if it's like I'm glad that they mentioned it at least, but the show is still trying to see Bo as this sympathetic leader at this point, that all the things that happened to her in the past are mute, and no one seems to really care that she's done all this stuff, because now I guess she's leader, so it doesn't matter that she did all this stuff because she's in charge of everyone, and no one can do anything unless they challenge her. But no one's gonna challenge her because why would they? She's the main character and a woman. I'm gonna go that route, but that's probably true from if I'm trying to get into like the aspects of these writers' minds, that's probably what they're going with. But they had something. They had something, to work off of. But no one disagrees with her. No one really cares. So they squandered it. They squandered this potential. And this is like another thing that the Mandalorian show has done constantly throughout its runtime. Just squandering potential constantly. Ideas and things to like push our characters forward. Maybe plot lines that seem interesting or out of like different from what we usually get with like our new Disney Star Wars accolades and what they do. they've squandered all of it. It's there's no room now for like interesting ideas to take the forefront and really become part of the show or really any part of the Star Wars mythos now. And it's just disappointing. Like, right? So many squandered ideas. Like episode 3 is pretty much squandered for me after this episode, after seeing the Imperial girl go with Moff Gideon, even like cuz I thought they had interesting ideas in the episode and it worked really well. And it was like an entirely different story. But it seems like that's never going to come back to fruition now. At least that's just my like forward thinking for the future of this show. They might not even do a season 4. So that's this entire scene here. They had something, they didn't execute it properly. Um, the characters don't execute this like need of urgency for their characters to like move forward with this like a revelation for Bo, even though all of them probably should have known it anyway, since it's well known to all of them that she was part of Death Watch. So it doesn't make sense even in that respect. Like, but so Death Watch and the Clone Wars are now officially canon, I think. Even though I'm not even sure like what is. I still have so many problems with that because Disney decanonized a lot of the EU and Legacy stuff. I would assume all the Clone Wars are canon because they had the final season with Ahsoka and that, and they're doing the Bad Batch. I will assume that all that's canon probably, and even they're recognizing her past at least somewhat. So yeah, I guess so. But I don't know what if they decide to change something. They very well might. Who knows? Anyway, the canon. I'm not even really concerned with that. That's far out of my. That's far one of like top 100 of my most top concerns for this show. Right. Anyway, they do that scene. It's whatever. They squander it, and they're just like rolling through Mandalore, doing whatever, boring, redundant, talk with Jin and Bo. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's just boring and full of again dragged on scenes that don't really need to be addressed. We get to a scene that breeds conflict between our characters here, Wolf and Big Boy. Oh, they're actually gonna take. This is. I guess this is like sorely important. Some things happened, and Forge Girl's like, I'm gonna take our wounded back up to heal to our privateers, and we're gonna go do something else. I don't understand why they're scouting without their ship either. Like they didn't take their like speeders or like spaceships. They're scouting on this like weird pirate ship instead, even though it's like way slower. But it's kind of stupid. So fortunately, it takes these guys up here. They're gonna end up meeting like the Imperials. But here we go. We have our like first conflict within the groups, which could have been good, but it's not. Our boy Axis Wolf is here fighting with Big Man, whatever his name is. They're just playing chess, or maybe not chess, whatever space game they're playing, and they're talking about strategy. And Big Man's like, "There's a rule about this." Axis is like, "Actually, there's not. What a doofus you are." They end up having a fight. Big Man basically wins. And I guess that this fight is supposed to be a representation of both of these factions coming together, resolving their issues. I not that it's I give a shit anyway. I guess this is maybe the first death flag for Big Man. Spoiler: he dies. Oh no! As if anyone gives a shit. As if anyone knows anything about this man or cares about him. As if he's had a character these past like 3 seasons. No. Obviously no. Fuck him. I don't care about his death. It doesn't happen here anyway. So they end up resolving their differences. Yay, everyone's happy. Forge is about to, do some shit with the Empire. We cut back. This is the part where like the Mandalorians seem to like constantly be fighting these titanic creatures with even though they don't want to, even in, like on their home planet. Apparently these creatures were here the whole time but didn't make any activity until the planet got irradiated. Now they just have to constantly fight these like giant fucking ginormous colossal creatures that like cause devastation to everybody. And they always like lose or fuck up or they can't fight them. They gotta run. Why the Mandalorians always so like pressed against these creatures? Why would they? Why are they always going to these planets with these creatures on them? Certain. If they had their ship, they could probably kill this fucking thing, but they didn't take it. They're stupid. But why are they always doing this? Going to planets with these creatures that like keep killing them and staying there for whatever reason? Surely there are other planets with like the no titanic creatures at all. But surely there are planets with like any form of life that they could just set up base on with all the like technology and people they have now. Surely they could do that. Surely they could find money with they could like sell themselves as like super mercenary groups in like times of war, especially with the planet with Jack Black, right? Just getting tons of money from nobles to like get the funds to do that. Surely, but no, we have to go to Mandalore, and there has to be colossal titanous creatures that like impede them on their journey. Of course, that has to happen. It's just fucking ridiculous. Not that this scene is like good in any way, shape, or form anyway. They don't do anything here. They run away. It's funny how Grogan, IG-11, fucking, like, gets a whistle. A bunch of Mandalorians die to this fucking thing. Pretty funny. Just, there, you can see all this horrible CGI. The production value of this show has been reduced dramatically, I think, for since the last two seasons. Absolutely. There are a lot of scenes in the show that are not up to par with the last two seasons. And maybe they just didn't have the money, or you know what? The show was probably rushed. Oh, you know what? Actually, dude, that's probably really true. The show probably was rushed significantly because of the like the DLC episodes that happened in Boba Fett a year ago, and maybe they didn't have enough material to actually like work with in the show, which is probably the explanation for all this like weird filler that's been in a lot of the episodes and the scenes in there. So they've just been rushing shit. Like that's probably why it might be ending on episode 8. Oh my god, that's probably true. I need to look that up. This season was probably definitely rushed, and you know, also not excluding the change of our main protagonists. Like, Mando's basically not the leader anymore, or even the main character of the show. It's Bo-Katan. That has to be true. A super rush season. Oh, man. Anyway, they find a cave they can run into. They're like, oh shit, let's just go into this cave. Fuck that creature. Let's all come in here, find out what's happening. They end up finding, like, uh, and this is super convenient what happens here. They go right into where they exactly need to go in this exact place with this exact creature bringing them here. They find like the big forge of the Mandalorians underground. Apparently the Mandalorians are like subterranean fucking like civilizations. But I remember from the Clone Wars that they had like giant domes on the like desolate planet or whatever that protected them, and they did stuff there. But apparently they went underground too. Doesn't matter. They come here. This is where we finally find out that there are the Empire, or the remnants of the Empire and the Imperials, have just taken over Mandalore. They had no idea about this. No one knew anything. They're just here now, and now they gotta fight them. This battle scene is chock full of horrible continuity errors where all the Mandalorians are wearing Vescor armor. Some of them actually get shot down by these blaster bolts. Some of these Imperials who are also wearing Vescor armor get shot down by these blaster bolts, but also at other times they don't. Just terrible action scenes throughout this encounter with these Imperials, and it's just never ending, and extremely boring as well. Tons of cuts. See, some of them are like getting shot, some of them aren't. It's the Mandalorians are somehow on the back foot, even though they have impenetrable armor. This should be the ultimate draw of anything. The Mandalorians also never use their jetpacks when they're like super useful to use them. But yeah, just like two factions fighting with Vescar armor where none of them can be hurt, but yet somehow some of them do get hurt. It's what is happening? Why because of the Vescar, they don't have they can't create stakes for their show anymore. So they just have to like let go of their continuity in order for like people to die, even though they've already stated that Veskar is like impenetrable to blaster shots, but they have no stakes. So what's the point of having this big like conflict if people aren't gonna die when everyone's wearing super armor? There you go. Just stop having people wearing super armor. Then we can have actual stakes, right? Isn't that an option you could do? It's so yeah, just one of the more frustrating things about the show, like right? No stakes, no actual real conflicts. Um, it's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. So they run through. They're really like they're having trouble fighting these people again. People, some of them are dying, some of them are getting shot, some of them aren't. Some funny fucking action scenes. It doesn't, apparently these guys can get beaten up, but if you remember in season 2, the like last episode, uh, they're like literally punching these guys into submission. But I remember from season 2, Mando got like slammed by this like giant super droid, and was just getting punched into the like metallic wall, and just was not. The inertia from those blows wasn't knocking him out, wasn't doing anything. But in another scene in this season, he gets knocked out like dropping into like a pool of water. He just fucking goes unconscious. They can't keep their shit straight. They just can't keep it straight. So they go through this battle. Again, just bad, horrible scenes. Lots of bad talking scenes. They run through. This is where they finally encounter Moff Gideon and this like we can call it a facility of the Empire. They've been just Moff Gideon's been organizing this possibly new uprising against the New Republic here, creating Tie fighters, getting soldiers, doing lots of things. Maybe this is like the setup for the new like the First Order or something in the future that's supposed to happen, but I'm not completely sure. I don't think this show itself is sure what it really wants to do anyway. So, oh my god. So they finally find him. Moff Gideon's been here this entire time. He's been mining Veskar. All of his soldiers have Veskar, or just fine. Din Djarin is captured, of course. We can't kill him because he's still pseudo main character. Not maybe he'll die at the end of the season. I'm not even sure. They're here. They're gonna try and blow open the doors so they can save Jin. It's where Moff Gideon comes up with his new black, like almost Darth Vader-esque suit made with Veskar armor. And here he is. He's like basically explains his plan as as he should, right? Just the classic villain shit. And he's basically gonna kill all these guys here and take over Mandalore, get all this Veskar, take over the New Republic, and do all that bad shit. All these guys watching behind this door that they can't open until they finally do open it. After Moff Gideon leaves, with like all his soldiers, everybody runs away. Doesn't matter. Big guy with the oh yeah, that's right. She opens this other door with the dark saber. She can handle it fine, easily. Everyone goes in except for Big Guy, where he decides to stall all the Imperial soldiers, kills a bunch of them, even though with his gun, even it seems like people are getting shot and like seem to die from blaster bullets, even though they have Veskar armor on. Again, they're breaking their own continuity. They all escape. Point is, Big Man dies at the end of this battle, very heroically, quote unquote. Quote unquote, even though we don't really know anything about him. I don't care about his death. I'm not invested into his character. I'm not invested into any of these characters, really. The point is, he dies. He sacrifices himself. That's a big character moment. Um, and that's essentially the end of the episode. He dies. He faces off against Gideon. Sorry. He faces off against these red guards that they have. They just have them. Oh wait, Moff Gideon from the beginning of the episode asked for them specifically, so I guess this is what they were used for. Apparently, their weapons can like penetrate Beskar armor, like right there. It's just like going into his body and like stabbing him. Um, Even though even lightsabers can't penetrate through Beskar armor, so I don't know what weapons these Praetorian guards are using. But if they're so powerful, why doesn't every soldier they have in their vicinity have them, right? They should. Wouldn't that be useful? Well, well, we can't do that. Ruin even more stakes of our show, right? Anyway, that's basically it. Big Man dies. That's the end of the episode. Yeah, alright. Thank you, Rick, and Dave Filoni and John Favreau. Based on Star Wars by George Lucas. What have you guys done to our franchise? You've destroyed it. You've ruined it. You've absolutely mangled it into oblivion. It is a corpse that should be left to die and buried in the outskirts of some, land in Oklahoma where it can rest peacefully and no one will ever touch it again. But of course, they want money. They need money. And without money, they can't do more of this bullshit for the normies. This is a terrible, terrible episode. It had just, if we go like the generalities of things you go down for filmmaking, the direction of the episode wasn't very good. Obviously, the dialogue and the writing was stale, boring, bloated upon approach with everything else that's correlated within the show. The music wasn't very spectacular in a lot of ways. I'm not a fan really of the new Star Wars music. I'm not even sure if George Williams is really directing that stuff. I'm sure they have like some synthesizer in like their back rooms making all the little tunes for every scene. It's not maybe it's not bad, but it's just not like extraordinary, right? Like the movies. Um, Let me go down to like CGI. Most of the CGI has been horrible for this show so far. There's been some really bad puppetry. You can tell that their production value has gone down a little bit since season 1 and 2, and maybe it's just that's because like I would assume that's because a lot of people haven't been watching it, and you can just tell throughout like all these scenes and the director's scenes. I don't care about the characters. They have most of them have no personalities to just horrible dialogue again. I'm not driving with the show. It's funny to watch, but it's frustrating at the same time to watch it because of these like horrible issues within the show. And I'm ready for the last episode. I'm really ready for it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. Oh my god, I won't make any predictions at all. I just want to go for the ride. I want to dive deep into that shit, get my toes all soaked in mud and just get in there. Oh my god. Oh man, I can't fucking wait. Okay, guys, I'm done today. All right, I'm hungry. I really want some pizza. It's my cheat day. All right, it's fucking Sunday. All right, I'm gonna get some fucking pizza and French fries. I'm gonna get gross. And then later I'm gonna watch the last episode. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Oh boy. All right, guys, I'm done rambling. All right, hope you guys had a nice time. All right, see ya.